Hey, it is your buddy. Peace and harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer comment that says how they feel sort of tainted and broken after this relationship with a female psychopath. They feel tainted and broken, and they're kind of wondering how to get that inner playful side back, that the inner child, the innocent, the playful, the one that loves to smile, joke, skip through the tulips, the one that likes to make cookies, the one that likes to do a drawing, the one that applauses when they hear a great song. You jump up in victory when your team wins. This is the experiences, this is the embodiment, this is the kinesthesiology, this is the physical vibe of health. And when you feel tainted and broken, so it's kind of like a wrench has come in and sort of taken apart a nut bolt from your engine, and it causes a couple things to fall apart, or what you feel is falling apart. Or just like I use a lot of analogies, I'm so sorry, but it's just, how do you bring the kinesthesiology of the manipulative relationship experience to light? How do you bring it to talk? How do you bring it, so gears. So in other words, just like when gears move each other in a watch, they go like this. This is what ends up what ends up happening, where you're then sort of broken off on your own inner gears, your own inner lever. So some people don't even know where that is. Is it under a towel? Is it under a hat? Is it under a cup? Where is my inner level? They lose really that feeling of being centered and aligned with their values, sort of everything lining up and meshing and merging in their life. In other words, I work hard, I play hard, I eat well, I sleep well. These sort of balances out, instead of living on these contradictory realities. In other words, it becomes a conflict of interest. It's discordant realities when you're in a relationship with someone who is psychopathic, who does not have any morality. They lack a conscience. They don't have any values within that are uplifting for humanity. It's really about the self and whatever it is that they can get. It's like a cold-blooded animal. This is what we're talking about, a real difference here, a very dramatic difference between what is inside this person, their inner wiring, and what is in really the rest of society. I mean, you can call them the 1%ers, but not like the 1% of the wealthy. We're talking about of the, master manipulators that pull one over on people. So to feel, tainted and broken. Tainted is a good word that we want to understand and see if this resonates with you all. What is tainted mean? Tainted, of course, there was that great song, Tainted Love, back in the 80s. What an awesome song, Tainted Love. Okay, you can always check that out. But it means to contaminate or pollute. To contaminate or pollute. The air was tainted by fumes from the car. So it's this sort of gaseous-like feeling. This is what I'm trying to explain. To be contaminated or polluted, what a psychopath might say is, I corrupted her, or I corrupted him. In other words, join this side of how we look at things, is when you're with them long enough, again, it's like the gears, what they do rolls you and rolls the relationship forward. It becomes this, like a gear to move forward in your life. And if you are, feeling this tainted or polluted, which means it is not in alignment with your inner values, it is not in alignment with your inner core of what you really personally really embrace. So you might not have known and recovered or know what it is that you want to embrace, because it's been so distorted through the days, weeks, months, or years that you've been involved in this or dealing with this. So it becomes really important to understand the cause that creates the effect and to deal with this. The tainting is when they really sort of have misled you into something that you do not feel proud of, you do not feel good about, you feel that you have broken or violated your own rules, values, or standards, and you don't want to be that way. So it's an epiphany, it's an aha moment. If I wasn't feeling so tainted, I would really love to. You know, if I wasn't feeling so tainted by this person, I really see myself becoming. If I wasn't so broken by this experience, when I'm really working well and functioning, I really love to. Write these things down. You have to learn to sort of jog the inner sensor so that you can fly, so that you can move forward, you can live with the flow, you can get back in the game, back in life, and creating a sense of happy normalcy for you. You might have been fooled though, oh, well, wow, this isn't normal, this is so special. So you might have had all these sort of explaining away of those situations that kept that sort of damage in place, or doesn't allow you to see the solution that you are not broken and you are not tainted. This is just as a result of being in that experience. So you have to be willing to let go of the body-mind connection that was there. In other words, the I am that you had to become while involved in that relationship. That's not the true you. Just because someone hurts your feelings doesn't mean that you are a hurt person. Just because someone disrespects you doesn't mean that you're a disrespectful person. Do not equate with how the negative effects. So when you're being, you know, you've got a gang of criticizers, you know, with these individuals or non-supporters, you know, don't allow that to dictate your I am. It's within them. Oftentimes it's just meant to pull you down, get, you know, and cause that ruin. And is part of a pathological envy or jealousy oftentimes, because someone who is psychopathic does not really have the ability to love, to embrace, to have emotions, to appreciate a sunrise, a sunset, the smell of a rose, you know, being physically stimulated in the positive. So a lot of people then might feel very deprived and very tainted or broken. And so you have to detox. You have to purge. You have to get out of the funk, the ways. You know, you might be having what I call the valley moments. You might have sort of, you know, you're coming down. You need to stay in the valley. You need to have some meditative situations. You might have to look up to your Savior. Look up to the bigger picture. Look up to your higher consciousness. Look up to your guides. Look up to, you know, and look up. Be willing to reevaluate your priorities. Maybe things got a scramble and a mess. So here we go. You're swinging it and you're creating and trying to work on an alchemy, a change of your inner life. You're and holding that healthy space for yourself so you can continue to fly and be without having those sort of recurring thoughts of being annoyed or angered or frustrated or confused, or in that sort of enigmatic psychopath word talk that creates a lot of the tainting. And so you need to stop thinking, quote unquote, like the psychopath. And allow them to lose the pull on you. Allow them to lose the pull on you. Allow them to loosen up that leash, if you will. Let it go out a little bit farther, and then a little bit farther, and a little bit farther. I mean, a lot of these people are still, you know, holding on to these people like they're walking a pet. You know, they're always with them. Let go. You know, they're not going to come back. You know, people, I think they're afraid that something's going to come back, that they're going to have a hover, all these different questions. So they feel if I just, you know, keep angry, I'll just be, you know, but you're only and hurting yourself. You know, the grudges only hurt the grudger. You know, it's like a viewer had stated, you know, you're swallowing the medicine you want to give to somebody else, but you're taking that medicine for yourself. So it becomes a non-solution. It becomes a miscalculation. It becomes flawed thinking. And so that is, you know, the tainted doesn't mean you are that negative reflection that they make you out to be. Oftentimes, they are coming from a bad place. They are coming from a lack of commitment. They're coming from a place of insecurity. So it's going to make you insecure. It's going to make you feel uneasy. It's going to make you feel that you are not in a good place because you're on that same wavelength. Do not become a force to their counterforce. David Hawkins, power versus force. This is a different experience for you in the physical, in the kinesthetic. And that's why I talk about in the book that I'm working on is resensitizing and stimulating your senses, coming back to life. Just like the old Irish Spring, the guys, back in the day, that old commercial where he's, big strapping guy, he's, standing there in the cold river and he's washing himself up like it's a bright new day and he's confident and loving life. He's feeling good. So you can have that same feel good, awoke or, alive feeling, but you have to resensitize yourself and stop becoming sensationalized by a psychopath, because that's what they will do. It's like the sizzle and not the steak. Do you want the steak and the sizzle, or do you just want the sizzle, which, do you see what I'm saying? I hope you do. But when I talk about resensitizing yourself and sort of putting yourself back together, is to realize that you need to detox. You need to detox from the social media. You need to detox from the sort of negative music. You need to detox from all that negative self-talk. I'm a loser. They're going to get me, whatever it is. Calm your jets. It's time to pipe down. Even though you might be afraid, because a lot of people are not used to being able to be relaxed and supported by others. So this becomes a very uncomfortable or unknown, unfamiliar experience. Peace and harmony, I do not know how to relax. I do not know how to get my bearings right now. This is a situation. You need to be able to calm down, and you need to be able to come to peace in your own body. This is a alchemy. This is going to take a shift of energy, but you have to stay the course. Just because it doesn't happen right away, it will get better. Number one, if there is pressure, basically pressure is not written on the ceiling. Pressure is not painted on the wall. It's not in your mirror in the bathroom. Remove that pressure that you have been putting yourself through for just a little bit. However long you can stand it, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, relax on the pressure. It's okay to become clear and clean of this individual. It is okay to become clear from this individual. A lot of people, I feel, hold on because they have not yet processed the lessons learned from that experience. So that's why I also talk about how important it is for you to have your own recovery notebook and title one of your biggest chapters, Lessons Learned. Lessons Learned. If you don't write it down, you're not going to remember it. Recognize lessons learned. Recognize red flags when they occur. And when they occur, put this up. Do you need to put this on a poster board in your room? Recognize the red flags when they occur. I am in my strength. Begin to embrace the truth. Embrace my realistic perspective. This is okay. This will get me where I want to go. So you have to be willing to look at the causes created the feeling of being tainted or broken. In other words, feeling dysfunctional and sick. Just feeling really sick to your stomach, or your senses aren't really working. You can't read. It becomes very debilitating. It becomes very crippling. Resensitizing yourself is a way to stimulate where you're at. So I really talk about your senses, and so you might, from the touch to the taste to the ear to the smell, to the hearing. These are all your senses that you need to work with, and then feed better energy and more deliberately calm down, so you can get into a neutral stance and be grounded and rooted. So, in other words, the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, you should be able to feel grounded, having your feet planted. You might want to do some earthing. You take off your shoes and socks and stand on the earth. It allows the energy, a lot of the negative ions, to be released from the feet into the Mother Earth and then recycled, taking out a lot of that negative prickly energy. You can study this, but try this and allow the soles of your feet to be on a green grassy knoll, wherever you're at. Maybe you're on a golf course. Maybe you're in a city and you don't have very many patches of greenery. Go ahead and do this. This will help you to detox specifically through the soles of the feet. Soul and soul, is there a connection? You can justify that for yourself. becoming grounded and resensitized so that you don't feel so tainted. Oftentimes there is an unwholesomeness or a dark side or a risky side, a reckless side from a relationship with a female psychopath. They have a propensity or a hypersensitivity to boredom. So they like to always keep it moving. Just like a shark might always be on the prowl, always moving. That's what I heard from a podcast. But they're kind of like that. They're always on the move. They oftentimes don't sleep very well. So this can affect you and make you feel sort of tainted, unwholesome, staying up too late, being hyper aroused from their reckless behavior, from their engineered chaos behavior, from their hostility, their rage, just sort of that very pathological anger that they will then really what can become bewildering, I think, is because of the misleading that a lot of that they have done to you, and the sense of betrayal, and the fact that you feel so disrespected and lose a sense of respect for yourself. So you will grow out of this. You will grow beyond these feelings. Time will help and will heal the wounds. It might take several months, depending on how long you are with them. I would say at least 6 months for every, if you've been with them for 3 months, it might take 6 months. You kind of want to double really how long you have been with them as to really your complete healing. So keep that expectation and trust the process for that period of time. So don't give up. Don't become an early quitter. Don't jump ship for your own happiness. Why would you want to allow someone to rob you of your joy? Why would you want to allow them to rob you of your bigger picture and your pursuit of happiness? Why would you allow this to truncate and stop your opportunity or chances for any future relationships? Why would you still be allowing this to operate in your inner I am? I mean, remove it. Remove the thorn. It is okay. The thorn does not make you. Your growth makes you. You don't need to operate out of a constant state of pain and anxiety and struggle. I think being stressed out over all the time is overrated. Just look at this and understand that for yourself. And be willing to do and engage in behaviors that are not tainting. In other words, get back to the wholesome. Art appreciation of spirituality, finding a religion or a spiritual support group, getting on a book club, getting on and studying fine art, or taking a workshop, or going to a museum. Begin to indulge your senses with the good and the positive. Just do it. Oh, I don't think I can enjoy it. Just walk the walk and allow yourself to be surrounded by more wholesome people, situations and experiences and behaviors and emotions, so that you can give yourself, I call this the recovery date. You need to really engage in this and do this at least once a week so you can fill that inner reservoir up. Just allow yourself to be on the receiving end of the positive to help replenish what felt tainted and broken. So if I didn't feel so tainted or disrespected by this person, I would really love to. For myself, I would really love to. And even though this person in this relationship, I've experienced a momentary lapse of judgment. I've engaged in flawed thinking. Now that impaired judgment has stopped, I really think it's best for me to. Now that I'm no longer engaging in flawed thinking, what is really best for me is when I. And then fill this in. Ask these questions of yourself again and again. Develop a list. Develop a notebook. Write these things down. It doesn't have to be typed into your phone. We're talking about good old-fashioned pen and paper. This, your writing has your energy to it as well. You can also impact it with underlining, with bold, with colored markers or pens or stickers or whatever it is that you want to re-emphasize the message that you need to give to yourself to reprime the engine towards the positive, and you stay motivated. You stay on a reward basis where you are rewarding yourself and you're excited for yourself and looking forward. So in getting back, I really function when you might not have any answers. Leave that open and allow and say, this week, I'm going to then watch and focus for I function best when And then you might not even know right now because you don't even feel that you're functioning. So write it down and write down those snippets so you have that and you are able to recoach yourself in self-cope and self-guide to the positive, orderly direction, thinking, feeling, and behaving that's going to get you to where you want to be. It's not in the other side. It's going towards what is in your best interest and your strength. And this person might not, you might not be able to simultaneously be in a relationship with this person and become your best. I mean, this is just a fact. This could be a fact of life. It's best for you to acknowledge and validate these facts because that truth will set you free and emblazon you with a liberation and a happiness that doesn't wear you down. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace be with you, peace out, peace be within. A peaceful heart will make for a peaceful life. Have a beautiful day.